Welcome everyone. We are here to take you on the journey of building properties all around the world, starting in Costa Rica, then going to Thailand, also the United States, and we'll be building properties from the ground up that are specifically designed for remote workers, for people that are traveling and working at the same time, that will enhance your work, enhance your life, and enhance the way you play. Let's get started. So I'm at the airport in LAX, about to go to Costa Rica. My flight leaves in 30 minutes. And I'm going down there to open a bank account for our local LLC that we've created in Costa Rica that owns the property that we're building in Manuel Antonio. Of course, problems occur right away. I got a text, or no, an email 5 minutes ago saying that the bank account I'm going down there to open tomorrow cannot be done because they input my passport number into the National Registrar incorrectly. And it won't be ready by tomorrow. They're not going to have it fixed by tomorrow. And that's a big problem because the bank account to be open there has to be done in person. I bought this ticket specifically just to go do that. I'm coming back in 2 days. So I need to decide very quickly whether I hop on this flight, take a gamble and just go to the bank tomorrow and see if I can make something happen. Or do I go home and reschedule? I think these are one of those moments where you're going to encounter obstacles and it's all about your determination to push through it. I'm going to take the gamble. I'm going to go down to Costa Rica and cause havoc at this bank and see if I can't make something happen. This is ridiculous. I'm already checked in. I'm not going to be able to get a refund if I cancel this flight and have to book another one and spend another 2 days in preparation and everything to go down here. So I'm going for it. So we are in San Jose, Costa Rica, staying at a hotel called Posada El Quixote, and this is why I like this place. You get really nice views of the city. Almost 8:30 a.m. So we are going to get ready, head into the city and kick some ass. We got a meeting with the bank, with our lawyer, and the architect today. Let's go do this. So this is an interesting cultural difference. You've got C for cold and H for hot. So this is clearly like English language, but the people that are installing this, Costa Rica, obviously speaking Spanish. So they see C is caliente, which is hot. And this is, trust me, this is hot water. Burned myself this morning. And the H, they probably had no idea what that means, but they're like, C, caliente, hot, H, fuck it, I'll just be cold. So, don't burn yourself.
Actividad porque es nueva, apenas van a construir. Bueno, está si se fijan en el sistema de Hacienda, ahí está inscrita como sociedad jurídica nada más. Es que se inscribe de oficio, uno no hace la inscripción. Pueden actuar separadamente, entonces él es el que vendría a firmar nada más lo de la cuenta.
We have a plan B.
Good.
If it's not possible to open the bank account here in Promedica, we can go to BCR, that it's very near from.
Es que eso se... Exacto. Exacto, porque se inscribe de oficio, uno no presenta un formulario para hacer esa inscripción. Ahora, ¿él podría dejar los formularios firmados de una vez? Estando en el país, es que aprovechando que está en el país.
So the bank excursion did not work. We were unable, and they were not accommodating, and that did not go well. But we're gonna work around it. We're gonna open the account via proxy. So our legal counsel basically will open the account for us, and then they'll just hand the username and the passwords to me so I can change that and take control of the account online. And then I'll just have to take another trip down here once the registrar error is fixed, which could be a couple more weeks, and we'll be able to get a debit card and all the things that we need to operate normally. But now we're heading in to talk to the lawyer. We're going to ask some questions about lending because we're going to need to get a construction loan in order to complete this property. So let's go inside and see how it goes. Quattro Legal, top quality service. All right. So we're here in the office and we just had some language difficulty explaining what I needed, but I think we're good now. And yeah, it just motivates me to be learning Spanish as much as I can. So I'll be doing that over the next couple of years, hopefully. By the time this place is fully built, I'll be fluent with the lingo. You know, it took me about 5 years to speak Mandarin at a proficient level. But I think with Spanish, probably cut that down to half the time, 2 years, 2.5 years, since it's a Roman-based, Latin-based language.
Okay, sorry, excuse me.
So since Spanish is a Latin-based language, I think the time it's needed to learn should be significantly less. Doesn't mean it's easy, but not quite as foreign, and there's a lot more similarities, you know, to our language. So it should be a bit expedited process, hopefully. It's weird taking these videos of myself. I'm a little bit more of a self-conscious person, and I frequently suffer from imposter syndrome, which is normal. I think, you know, we're doing stuff that, you know, not everybody does, but I have to remind myself to just put myself out there and just go for it. You know, what we're doing is not rocket science. I got moved to an office, but I can talk privately now. Yeah, as I was saying, this isn't rocket science. People have been building homes and building structures for thousands of years, and really our job is just to put all the pieces together to allow people that have expertise to do those things. That just requires, you know, a lot of discipline and focus, and be driven to accomplish and make sure that the goal of what you're trying to accomplish stays clear for the entire team, and you can't be the one to give up. If you give up, everybody gives up. So there's a lot of perseverance in overcoming obstacles, and there will be obstacles. That's part of the fun. That's the challenge. Raising capital is probably one of the most difficult parts of all of this, and thankfully we've put in a lot of legwork, a lot of work building up the last 12 months, developing a network of investors, of members, of people to support this vision. So I think we've done a really good job with that, and that hard first step has been completed, and that's really setting the stage for us to now focus on execution and making sure that we allocate resources efficiently, diligently, not overspending where we don't need to, and then having the decision-making powers to know when it's okay to spend and not to be too frugal or too cheap or try to do everything by yourself. You have to find that balance, so you're getting a professional product completed, and you're also not egregiously spending investors' capital when it doesn't need to be spent. So I'm going to take a moment to step back, just for people that haven't been following us, and explain exactly the overarching theme here of what we're doing. We are building properties all around the world in exotic and highly desirable locations, and these properties are specifically tailored for remote workers. So we're talking about much more interesting structures than your, you know, Airbnb single-family homes, and far more interesting than your cookie-cutter hotels. We're creating a totally new category of work, life, and play. And we're starting that in Costa Rica, and that's why I'm here. I'm in the office of our legal counsel, and we've bought a property in Manuel Antonio already. This is just land, and now we're going to start developing it. I just had a meeting at the bank. Didn't go well, but now I've got a meeting with our lawyer that's going to talk to us a little bit about lending. So this is Gonzalo. How are you doing?
Hey, good.
One of the quotas to ATCC canopy stations.
Yep.
And you can sign here, please.
Right here? At the bottom?
Yeah, at the bottom, please.
We just had a meeting together about how we're going to get the construction loan done. What are the things we're going to need requirements-wise for getting a construction loan and then rolling that into a long-term 30-year note.
Just come here, we'll sit down, have a cup of coffee, and let you know what to do legally and hook you up with good places to eat and have fun.
He's very casual, but it's all business when you come in here.
Yeah.
All right, so we just finished our meeting with the lawyer. I did not film that, but I'll give you the rundown. Essentially, what we really want to make sure is successful is financing to build this property. So we're not going to use all our money to build this. You always want to, you don't have to do this, but highly recommend that you use other people's money to build, and it allows you to leverage and build something far greater than you could do on your own dime. The things that we'll need for a construction loan in Costa Rica, you're going to need to have a good architect, a good contractor, and a good business plan in place. You're going to want to already own the land, which is a very important component of this, and you're going to want to have the permits in order to build whatever you're planning. If you can get all of those things in order, you create a very compelling proposal for an investor, a private lender, or a bank to give you a loan because they have belief that you can complete the build. So the key takeaway for getting a construction loan, and this is applicable to anywhere in the world, but specifically in our situation, is build value. Always build as much value as you can and then go get the loan, because the more cards you bring to the table, the better terms you're going to be able to negotiate. So that means instead of just going to a bank and saying, hey, I bought this property, I want to build a hotel or I want to build a house, that's low value. But if you go in there and say, hey, I'm working with a top architect, here's his name, here's our contract, I'm working with a great general contractor who's done projects exactly like this, here's our business model, here's the cash flow that we can expect, here's the cost of the entire build, and I've already got all of the permitting from the city. You go in with all of those cards, all of a sudden you've created a very compelling investment vehicle for a lender. And that is exactly what we are going to do. You then take that short-term loan, which is usually 2 to 3 years, and then you can roll that once the property is finished being built. You can roll that into a long-term mortgage. 15 years, 25 years, 30 years. During that process, you're refinancing the property. So once it's built, the appraisal value is much higher than before, which allows you actually to pull equity out of the property and allows us to continue building more properties. So here we are at Cañas Arquitecas. This is their office that they built. We got some drawings, some of the models that they built. This is Andres, our architect. And this is some of the plans. Can you put on your cool hat again?
On my head?
Yeah.
Where else?
This is how we walked in. This is who better to build your house than this guy. And this is Victor Cañas.
Hi.
And these guys are legendary architects in Costa Rica. Well, we're all here. This is the first time we got to meet in person. So this is exciting to begin our journey and start building this really cool property.
Yeah, we're really
Canopy
excited.
Station.
The Canopy Station.
The Canopy Station.
So one of the guys, I never heard of something like that. That a municipality has to reserve in a private property.
So one of the things we're really excited about is developing out this space with some cool amenities. Like maybe we were thinking about maybe like something like a little gazebo or platform where we could do an ice bath and like
cool.
make it like a thing. You know, like every morning everybody goes out and does an ice bath.
Sure, ice bath, love it.
Yeah.
And a
Maybe some-
sauna there would be.
A sauna? Okay.
would
I was
be
wondering if
complimentary.
I was wondering if saunas were a thing here or not.
No, and I don't know why. We have so much geothermal connectivity that I have no idea why we don't have it.
Okay.
It's not a culture thing.
Yeah, well,
It should be.
I'd love to put in the sauna. I'd love to do all the fun stuff. So.
But you have a lot of room to
Yeah.
do.
There's
And will that be stuff that you'd help us with, or do I go to a landscaper for that?
We can help you with the planning of that,
Okay.
and maybe choosing the right stuff.
I want bushes and plants and trails, and I mean, like, that's a big deal for us. So let's have fun with it. To me, this should be an exciting component. You know, we can
Okay.
add more nets if we want. You know,
Tree nets down there would be cool.
yeah. Now we're going to talk about some of the things that Tyler wanted to talk about.
Hi, Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler, what's up? He and I had both originally envisioned some separation, the villas from the clubhouse. So you have like a master villa, and then you have the master clubhouse, and then you have villas around it. And apologize if I did not explain that clearly. I thought it was clear.
Okay.
Now, having said that, I still really like this. So I'm thinking, is there like some maneuvering that we could do to do both?
Well, yeah, there is, because basically these are underground.
Yeah.
So these could pop up and be placed around there. Yeah, that should be the easiest thing, and really you wouldn't lose much of the architectural impact.
I'm super excited how non-conforming this is. You know, I like that. So I'm really happy about that, guys. So all of my concerns are lower down the priority list, and the main things that I wanted are there. So I'm quite excited.
That's
Thank you.
good to know, right?
The other thing that I had a concern about for Tyler, especially, is that he really wants a pool. And I'm like, but we get the 4th floor hot tub. Like, that's all we need. Like, because for me, that's all I need. But he really wants like the not classic, but you know, the expectation of coming
Water.
into a place and having some water that people can swim in. So I don't know if it's possible to add something here.
Well, sir, it's just not normal.
What'd you say?
It's just not
It's not blue, it's orange.
blue. Yeah, it's yellow.
Oh, it's yellow.
Yeah.
That's what the pool
That's
is.
the pool.
Oh, okay, good. That was my next question. I was like, what is the yellow? Why wouldn't you make it blue?
Why not?
Okay, so this is all water.
That's all
Okay,
water.
okay.
We got that. We play around with the color of
Yeah.
the pool.
Apologies.
No.
So what's this then? This
Okay, that is part of the whole thing. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
You walk into here, and this is the highest point of the property.
Yes.
Okay, so you look down, and then from you look down, you're gonna see the terrain coming down, and then leveling out. And at the point when it starts to level out, you're gonna see this net structure climbing up, and that is a huge membrane of cables with the hanging garden thing. Okay, so what
And
you're
so
gonna
then when we say hanging garden, we're imagining greenery built into the net, into the cables.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like
gonna
you've
grow
done in the
there.
past. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So what you're gonna see is all this green going up from that.
Gotcha.
So it's gonna be hidden. The whole thing is gonna be hidden under green, apart from this point and this point in the center. And little things jutting out. That is a common area terrace. Okay, and it really depends on how you want it to work. More like a WeWork, more like a playground, more like, I really thought of putting a huge sloth, like oversized, 10-meter big, 3-meter high,
Yeah.
just slothing there, and you climb on top of it, and that is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't.
I think the WeWork idea is probably better.
Yeah.
I like sloths, but we want to utilize the space as much as possible.
course.
Functionality.
Yeah. Or you walk into this space here.
Right.
What you're gonna see is this. It's kind of the main feature. And in between, inside the ring, is gonna be one of those tree nets. This is a circular ring. It's loose, so it bows down, and it gives access, because this part here goes downward and gets to the floor level. So this is on par with the floor. It goes from here, you climb up, and you get to that circular.
You actually
Oh.
need people who will actually go in it and climb up.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the idea.
Okay. Cool.
So you can sit here
Mm-hmm.
on top
Mm-hmm.
with kind of a sags here on this part.
Okay.
So if you sit on this part, lay down really, you're gonna be lower than the ring itself. You're gonna look out, and you're gonna be surrounded by this, which is full of green and flowers.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought that you could leave a hole here so you can jump out into the pool.
Okay. I understand half of it. And
I know it's hard,
but
okay, this is the net where all the earth is, and it feeds all the vines
mm-hmm.
which grow there, all the flowers,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the bottom part is the net,
Mm-hmm.
and the net does something like this, and this is ground level.
Okay.
So you climb up here,
Mm-hmm.
and you can lay down here,
Right. And it'll sag a little
and
bit.
it'll sag a little bit so you
Yeah.
look out.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also in this space, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool.
That's really cool.
And then from here, you can make a little hole to jump into the pool from.
Perfect. That makes I get it. So there'll be the pool comes all the way out here into the ledge to make it an infinity pool, and then the water will drop down, and there'll actually be a bench here that people can walk down to, these amphitheater steps, and sit and have a little waterfall on their back. So from the perspective of my side of what I'm doing, so I need to get plans and modeling and renderings completed ASAP,
Yeah.
and then we need to get a general contractor on board and get a quote from them, and then once we make an agreement about who to work with, I need to go talk to Gonzalo Quattroligo. He's going to help us introduce us to some private lenders where we'll do a construction loan. Our capital that we're using is only financing, 30-40%. But in order to get those loans, I need to have everything else prepared beforehand. The more value I can have up front and prepared, the easier it will be to get the loan and the better terms we'll get for the loan. And then you said ideally the best time to start building would be like in December or January.
January.
Okay.
Everyone wants to start in January.
Yeah, December is it's actually 2 weeks.
Because of Christmas? Yeah.
There's 2 weeks. Everybody takes 2 weeks off.
Okay. So I want to get this rolling as soon as possible. Also, once I have the renderings here and the modeling, I'll also start raising more investment in the United States with investors. So we just raised for an initial round to get started. Because we're also doing simultaneous purchases of property now in the United States and in Thailand. So I'm going to go to Thailand in July. And I'm going to Austin, Texas and Nashville next week to look at land. So we're trying to do all three at the same time.
Oh, big project.
Sometimes it doesn't matter how many hours you work on this, you still have to wait. So I can maximize my hours by working on multiple projects at the same time. Sound good?
Oh.
Very.
All right. Walking around the streets of San Jose. Quite pleasant, actually. Great freaking weather. This is very exciting. I'm so freaking pumped to be here. So our trip to Costa Rica this time is ended. We got our architectural plans. I'm headed to the airport. So we are heading back. See you guys stateside. I made it back just in time for Mother's Day. Here with my wife and son, Raymond. We're gonna have some hot pots. Check you guys later.